Welcome to Monday Movie Madness. Today's movie is Lift on Netflix, starring Kevin Hart, Juju Mbatha-Raw, and Vincent D'Onofrio. Now there are other ones that is starring as well, all equally good actors, but those are the ones that I'm familiar with. So anyway, this movie starts off with you see Kevin Hart sitting in an auction house, okay? And they're bidding on an NFT. And if you don't know what an NFT is, Nancy Frank Time, look it up. It's in the digital world. Look it up. So they're doing an auction for an NFT, and they have a man in representation of it, and he has a gold metal mask on. So they're in the auction house and they're bidding and everything for this. And it's going, they're bidding anyway. So you also, the camera switches to someone watching them, and it's Interpol watching them and trying to catch them, and they recognize Kevin Hart. Of course, that's not his name, but I forget what his name is, so I'm gonna use the character's name. So they're watching Kevin Hart, and she's like, we're gonna get him this time. So they are watching him, and then a distraction happens. I'm not sure if it's an explosion or if something happens that is a distraction. And then Interpol's like, go, go, go. And as they're going, the NFT is like this, and a lady walks up to him, the curator. She walks up to him, and she sorry about that alarm. No. She walks up to him and she says, come with me to my office. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart comes to the other side and says, no, come with me to my boat. Like that. So he goes with them, and Interpol's trying to run and get in there. So Kevin and them get down to this little boat, and the guy says, I thought this was a ship or whatever. And he says, we're going to the big ship. So they get on and they go. Then you see Interpol trying to get a ship. Get me a ship. Get me a boat. Get me a boat. Like that. So then the movie pans to a guy up top in the safe, still in the art. So he takes, I'm like, how he gonna get out of there? People are trying to run out. You can't just walk out with stuff. So he takes the art, throws it out the window, and there's a guy down there in the boat. Well, he takes the art, he wraps it up, you know, and throws it out the window, and there's a guy in a boat receiving it, okay? The guy that's receiving it is the engineer. The one that sent it to him, I believe he's the hacker, one of the hackers, and then the curator is another hacker. Kevin Hart is the leader, okay? And then Vincent, he's the disguise man, all right? And then there's a few other ones as well. So anyway, they have a safe cracker and stuff like that. So anyway, he throws it into the water. The receiver gets it, okay? So then he walks out like everybody else in a panic. So then the movie switches back to the water chase. Interpol has a boat now. They're chasing him. All kinds of things happening. And then you see the hacker, the curator. She has a remote, and a wall comes up out of the water. Interpol's on one side, Kevin Hart and his crew's on another side. We rooting for the bad guys, right? Really? Anyway, so they're they get on the ship and they're partying, and they tell the NFT guy, you can take your mask off, you're safe, like that. So he's partying, and you actually think that he's a part of it, you know? Like, oh, okay, he's a part of it, all right. So they're partying. So the next morning, you know, everybody's hungover and everything, and they waking up, and the NFT guy is reading the news, and he says, wait, what? Y'all kidnapped me? And they was like, not kidnapped, borrowed, like that. And he said, your NFT went for 20 million. When they thought you were kidnapped, your value rose. We sold that NFT for $89 million. 89 million. So they threw him an extra 7 million, and then they kept the rest. All right. So he's like, okay, right? So anyway, then the camera switches. Everybody, they must be in their own places because Kevin is in his own place. And the Interpol lady shows up. And we're like, how they know each other? Okay. Backstory. A while, sometime in the past, they had met in Paris. Neither one of them knew who the other one was, and they were both undercover for their occupations, okay? So they was together, and they had a passionate week together. Then they went their separate ways. So here she comes, and she's like, look, we got your guy. You know, Vincent, he was in the auction house too. He was in disguise, but they caught the fact that he wasn't really that cane, that he was faking a limp. They knew he was a part of it, so they grabbed him. He spilled everything, and they're like, y'all going to jail, and that's all there's to it. He's like, she said, unless you do this deal. He's like, what's the deal? Interpol wants him to steal gold from, let's say the guy's name is Luther. Wants him to steal gold from Luther. Now, Luther's a bad man. He kills thieves. He kills the small thieves, the big thieves, the good, bad thieves, the good thieves, if there's such a thing, right? But he kills them. And Kevin Hart's like, no way. We are off his radar, and we're not trying to get on it. We're not fooling with him. Well, it's either that or you go to jail. So he said, I gotta talk to my team. So all the team decide, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Like that. The safecracker's like, yeah, fun. You know, so they go for it. So anyway, they have a plane. They get a plane from somebody else, and they make it stealth so you can't see it. And the plan is to fly under the plane that has the gold in it and swipe the gold. All right. Fast forward, everybody's on the plane. They notice these three dudes that look serious, like, and they're like, keep your eye on them, but we got to do our plan. So when they're on the plane, they notice the receiver, they call him because he wasn't on the plane. He wasn't checking in. And they're like, what happened? And he goes, man, I couldn't do it. It just wasn't worth the risk. They're like, okay, well, they had this part that they couldn't take in as one because it looked like a bomb. Everybody had a different piece to it, and he had his piece. Like, couldn't he have gave it to somebody? Anyway, they're thieves. He could have put it in their bag. So anyway, they had to improvise. They did improvise, and the plane was able to get underneath the other plane. You see the guy trying to crack the safe. He gets the safe open, and then the screen pans to upstairs. The other three guys, they're fighting. They don't have regular guns. They have guns that have some kind of liquid in it that kills you or whatever. And so they're fighting upstairs. And then next thing you know, all of Kevin Hart's team is like this, right? Then it pans to, they had gotten somebody in the tower as well, so that the tower wouldn't report that there were two planes, okay? So anyway, somehow Interpol found out, I don't know, Interpol double-crossed them, and at one point, they was going to shoot them down. And the crew knew they got shot down. No, they did shoot them down. They got shot down, and where they ended up landing on Luther's place, the bad guy. He was there making a deal with his people. He was like, here come your gold now. He didn't know it was coming like that. It crashed on his land. As he gets there, his people decide, no, we don't want to deal. He shoots them and kills them in front of these guys, in front of Kevin Hart's crew's guy. He says to them, who are you? I'm about to kill y'all. Just as he's about to kill him, then a whole bunch of cops come. And then he's like, Luther's like, I'm protecting my property. I have a right. Then Kevin says, kick it to the airplane, to the pilot lady, and she shows a video on the bottom of the plane showing him shooting that person. So they arrest him. So the Interpol comes, it was Interpol, that's what the cops, Interpol. So Interpol comes and gets the gold, and Kevin Hart and all of them get ready to leave. The Interpol lady, Juju, she knows that they had her shot down. She goes to him, I quit, and slapped them or whatever. So they all leave. She rides off with Kevin Hart. So she says to Kevin, well, at least Interpol kept their word. You guys, your records are wiped clean, and they got the gold. And Kevin's like, but do they really? Then you see the plan switch. Now I love when you think they got caught and they really didn't. What happened was the guy, the crack safer, he had brought fake gold on with him somehow. Don't ask me how, because I didn't see that part. But anyway, he brought fake gold on, and he got the real gold, dropped it in the water to the receiver. So he didn't really drop out. That was all in the plan. He did that so that they didn't trust the Interpol lady. So he got the gold, and then the fake gold was on the plane. So then when we're back in Luther's house now, Interpol think they got the gold, they scratch it off, and it's painted like that. So then you see back to Kevin and them, they all congratulating because they got the real gold. So I love a good movie. The Lift on Netflix, starring Kevin Hart. You got to see it. Bye now.